Welcome to the Community Spotlight podcast. My guest today is Derek Beat from from the Crawford Soil and Water Conservation District. I got to remember his title. He's got kind of a neat one. Well, that's an old term back from the 60s, neat, you know. He's the H2Ohio Ag Tech. Now that's a mouthful, Derek. What in English does that mean?
So what that means is I'm the person in the office that is mainly responsible for the H2Ohio program as far as administering it and providing technical advice or answering questions and so forth about the program. I'm not the only one that works on that program. It's really a whole office program, though.
Okay.
Everybody is involved, and we certainly do need everybody in the office.
Yes. Okay. Now the H2O, I gotta say it again, H2O Ohio program. In a nutshell, what is basically the H2O Ohio program that you're going to be speaking about today? Because I know that's kind of your.
So overall, it is a much broader program than just in the ag community.
Okay.
It's a nutrient reduction program. So what that means is that it's aiming at cleaning up the waterways and the waters of the state in Ohio that feed into Lake Erie specifically for right now. So what we're trying to do is improve water quality.
All right, so we could get into a lot of issues with this.
Yep.
But now I know today, because I got your newsletter.
Yes.
Maybe when the camera gets back on here, we'll show it again. But you guys have a very nice newsletter. It's called Ag News and Views. I've got it up here so maybe somebody can see what it looks like.
Yep.
And that comes out quarterly, correct, I believe?
Yep,
Yeah,
quarterly. Yep.
And it has a lot of information in it. So you folks out here that's listening to the podcast, there's a lot in there that we cover that comes out of this and some other things that we go down on other things. But I know today you wanted to talk about the H2 Ohio open enrollment coming up. That's kind of the main thing you wanted to talk about today, and then I'll get into some other things with this. I'll let you explain where you're going with this.
Yeah, so when H2Ohio first came out for the ag community and the producers, it was kind of a sign up now or you're not going to get in. So the H2Ohio program, it's a 3-year program for 3 crop years. And at the beginning, it was they didn't want to. They wanted to focus on just the people that signed up. They didn't want to have too much other stuff going on at the moment. So once they have got into the program and we've seen what practices are being implemented, what money is actually being spent, now we're opening that up to other producers that maybe didn't get in on that the first time, so that they might have a chance to get in if maybe they missed out or they decided, it's not for me, but now they're thinking, well, maybe I do want to try some of these practices that we do have available to us. So pretty much that's what it is. It's anybody that hasn't signed up or didn't sign up in the first time, they can sign up now for crop years 2024 and 2025.
Okay, so what is involved in the sign-up process? Let's say I'm out here, I'm interested in this. I don't want all of these for things going into the waterway that don't belong in there that can cause a lot of problems up in the lakes. Okay, so now I'm interested in this. Now how do I get going on this?
So you come into our office. We'll talk to you about what practices you want to sign up for. We'll talk to you about a nutrient management plan. So that's the first and foremost thing that every producer has to have. So if you look at those bullets, that's the number one thing, nutrient management plan implementation. So we have to have a nutrient management plan on your farm or whatever acres that you're signing up. You don't have to sign up the whole farm. If you just want to do the home farm and leave your rented acres out, you can do that, or you can do all your farm. But we want to make sure that we're managing all the nutrients as far as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that's going on those fields.
Because the balance of those things can foul up the waterways, is that correct? Or what in particular is the issue here?
Yeah, so over-application can be an issue, and it's not necessarily a negligence thing. It's just that when soil moves, we can also be moving nutrients with that soil. So We want to make sure that we're just putting out the amount of nutrients that is necessary to grow a crop and to keep producers profitable, but we're not over applying. And sometimes producers know that they might be applying a little bit more because fertilizer might be cheap at that moment and they're trying to build up their soil. And we do allow for that if their soil tests do call for that, but generally we're trying to balance each crop year to year with the nutrients that crop needs.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So in a way, we're talking about, just like it says, nutrient management.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to manage what's going on there.
Yep.
Now, obviously, there's benefits to the producer.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
And they receive so much, don't they, an acre, or how's that
Yeah.
work?
So with each of these practices, there is a dollar amount associated.
Okay.
So just depending on what the practice is going to depend on how much they get paid for completing that practice. All these practices are paid after the completion and after the verification that the practice was completed to the standard of the program. And there's different dollar amounts. So some practices cost a little bit more to implement, or maybe we're trying to promote other practices a little bit more so than others. Like cover crops, we're paying $25 an acre to seed those cover crops. So if you go into that, you look at the cost of what the cover crop seed costs, the application of getting that seeded, so on and so forth, time, labor, all that other sort of things. So
you're trying to allow for those variables.
Yeah, trying to make it so it's not, maybe it's not super lucrative for them to do it, but it definitely helps pay for that seed, that time, the labor, fuel, application costs, all that kind of thing.
If I may ask, how has this been pretty well accepted here in Crawford County thus far?
Yeah, I think so. We had 118 applicants sign up for H2Ohio program back in 2022, so I would say that's quite a few producers. Certainly we have a lot of producers in the northern part of the county that are in this program, but the program is open to everybody in this county. Yep.
Okay, so so the H2Ohio program, this open enrollment. Now, how long will this go on for this open enrollment?
They haven't.
Is there a deadline, or say they've not set one yet?
They haven't set one yet. But if we're gonna start thinking about crop year 2024 and 2025,
well, it's right on us.
I mean, it's right on us. We're already spreading fertilizer for next spring. We're planting cover crops. We're buying our inputs and everything else. So it's a great time to come in, especially if we're hopefully wrapping up harvest soon.
Yeah.
Maybe producers can come in and we can have a chat about maybe having them sign up and participate in the program.
All right. Now, to sign up, like you said, they need to come in the Soil and Water Conservation District office. And I'm going to read this off of here so I get it right. Mm-hmm. Located at 3111 State Route 98, which is, quite frankly, it's just down from Producer's Lifestyle.
Yep, same building as Ag Credits in there.
Okay.
FSA, we're all right centrally located with all of them. So.
All right. Now, they can request you, Derek Beat, or is pretty much anybody?
Yeah, anybody could. Generally, Mike Hall, our program administrator, or myself would handle the sign up at least. But if somebody has questions, certainly, if either of us aren't there to help out, then we'll try to get back with them as soon as we can and try to get that lined up.
Is there any paperwork they need to bring or something like that would be helpful to you guys? That way, sometimes you go to something and you say, I'm going to sign up, and they say, oh, you didn't bring this, or you did. Okay. Is there snags and things like that we got to watch out for here?
Yeah, so when we sign up, we would ask that you bring your tax identification number.
Okay.
So if you're a farm entity that has an EIN number, or if you're just a sole proprietor, you need to bring your Social Security number. That's so we can send you a 1099 at the end of the year for tax purposes. Yeah.
All right. So there are things, but you got to think them out a little bit.
Yep.
But would it be probably best to call first and then set up an appointment for this?
Yeah, that would obviously be the best. Make sure that we're there. But we're there Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30.
Yeah, I know people a lot of times they do something on the whim, or they happen to be down in the area, and they say, well, I'll just go in there because I've wanted to do this anyhow.
Yep.
All I'm just trying to think is for everybody, if you need certain things, it'd be kind of nice to talk about it on the phone before you come in. That way you don't get there and then you're slowing the process up.
Yep.
Now, is this dependent on funds from the state then? Like I said, there was a sign up here. We call it, the words, open enrollment. But this is pretty well funded by the state, correct? This is a big priority of the state.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, it sure is. So as of right now, we do have to send in that application to the Ohio Department of Ag for them to essentially bless and sign off that yes, we do have the funds to do this. But all indications is that if anybody's interested, we're going to keep going until pretty much first come, first serve.
Well, they don't want all this stuff being dumped into the Lake Erie.
No,
in the waterways.
Right, and farmers aren't necessarily doing that either intentionally, or nor are they or are they blatantly doing it. It's just it happens with some of our ag practices, and it's just a way to help maybe make sure that showing that the farmers aren't doing a bad job of managing their nutrients, showing that they do have that nutrient management plan already in place. A lot of our producers are already doing some of the stuff that we're talking about. Yeah. So, it's more of a reassurance and showing that we are doing a good job here in Crawford County especially.
Well, I got to think about it. To do a nutrient plan would be a good idea anyhow. So,
absolutely.
Because of whether you had this program or not, because for several reasons, the cost of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, cost of whatever you have to put on the field, fertilizers, chemicals, whatever you're using, I would imagine, it becomes very prohibitive. And if you're putting too much on, that's costing you more money. If you're raising a crop that, again, has to be accounted for, it comes off your bottom line at the end of the year when you sell the crop, correct?
That's
mean, it's just common finance here.
Yep, absolutely. So there's a lot of finance in this, but there's a lot of conservation in it. It's kind of all mixed together. We don't try to get too much in the financing part of things, but if somebody has questions, we can. I think that our office has a little bit of knowledge to help assist somebody and maybe saying, hey, maybe this isn't worth all that extra fertilizer. Maybe we could back down just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, what I mean is, if you have the bottom line on this thing, and I could have done it with less cost.
Yeah.
If you're a producer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to do it with less cost.
Yeah, especially if you're the sole income of the household. That's with times the way they are. Sometimes we just need a little bit extra money. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Anything else you want to share with us today on H2Ohio, or anything else you'd just like to kind of get into?
No, I think that's kind of all we got. We're just chugging along. We're taking information for producers that are already signed up and already practicing H2Ohio. Make sure you get your cover crop information in, your wheat planting information into us, so we can make sure we got that ready to go for the spring. Make sure you're getting your soil tests done here this fall on those fields that do need re-soil tested. And if you have any questions, absolutely call the office or stop in, and we'll try to assist you as much as we can.
So for existing people that are in this H2Ohio program, you do follow up with them?
Yes.
You would have to, I would imagine, because everybody's cases are different, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of people, but it's good to work with those people, though, too.
Well, yes, because you got people that are working on the front line of this, because we just can't keep having things going into the water system.
Right.
And, as you pointed out, this is not a farm. This is farm, but this is everybody's issue. City dwellers, whatever, because I know Mike, the last time he was in, we were talking about people, they fertilize their lawn and this stuff, and it gets on the concrete and it goes down into the sewer system. Guess where it's gone? It's gone up to the lake.
Yep.
If you live around here, at least north of the crest line, so to speak, we know it's going to go into the Lake Erie, and we don't want any more excess of things going in there that don't need to be in there.
Right. That's
Whether you're a farmer or somebody, just a rural person, a home dweller, or a city person, or whatever.
Yep.
Anything goes in that sewer system.
And anything that goes down through that ditch, if you're out in the country and you're fertilizing your lawn, and then we get a big rain, some of that stuff may, or it may not run off into that ditch that's going to eventually go to Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Derek, I appreciate you coming in. Again, my guest is, I got to read this great title. I mean, Derek, you got it made. When you got a title, you've got it all.
Yeah.
Derek Beat, he's the H2Ohio, we say coordinator? Would that be correct? Or one of them?
I'm just an ag technician.
He's an ag tech then. See, he doesn't have an overly active ego where he has to have a great title. So he's H2Ohio ag tech at Soil Water Conservation District dealing with this. And Derek can be reached at the Crawford Soil and Water Conservation District. They can give a call out there at 419-562-8280. They can go on the website at crawfordswcd.org. I'm sure you guys are on other social media as well.
We're on Facebook as well. I believe our Facebook is Crawford SWCD. So
all right.
Give us a follow, and we'll be posting technical posts. We'll be posting all sorts of different things. So,
nice having you in, Derek.
Yeah,
appreciate it. It was a surprise this morning. I was expecting someone else, but you know what? That's a fun part of this.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'll give my best to everyone out at the Crawford Soil and Water Conservation District.
Will do.